Okay, hello. This is my second time recording this video. I tried to record it in 4K. I don't know why I did that. It just took up way too much storage. Anyways, this video is about the Analog Four. I wanted to talk about how slept on this machine is, because I don't see a whole lot of people like talking about it. I mean, I do, but like not as much as they talk about the Digitact or the Octatrack or the analog rhythm. So this thing is capable of a lot of stuff. So basically the way I have it set up right now is I've got the Analog Four just going, sending the stereo signal out into the Digitact, which is using the external mixer. So it's processing the external signal as a stereo signal and then sending that into Overbridge, and that's how I'm recording it. I'm capturing it off of the Overbridge plugin. So yeah, and then I'm using Logic to record my voice. Yeah, I've got the dual camera setup this time. My phone is the one right in front of the Analog Four, and then I've got a camera to the side. Yeah, anyways, so I got the Analog Four used because I don't buy new stuff, but it came with a lot of like patterns already in it and everything like that. I don't know if they were factory patterns or if they are specifically like patterns that the previous owner used, but I'm not going to use him. I already cleared this track of all of the sounds, so it's just for each one, you know. And I didn't mean to mute my effects like that. So anyways, I'm gonna go in now and just start making some sounds. Also, the Digitac is adding compression to this. I don't have it set up yet to anything, so it's just a dry signal for right now, but I will add compression later, like toward the end or when I feel like I need it. So anyways, this is usually how I start, just a clear, palette or whatever, if you will. So I'm just gonna go in and start to make a kick. And the first thing I'm gonna do is go to oscillator 1 and turn tracking off. Same thing with oscillator 2. I'm gonna turn oscillator 2 up about like 80, and then oscillator 1 could be like 120. Oscillator 2, I'm gonna tune down. Oscillator 1, my bad, to like 36. Yeah. Other thing I'm gonna do is add noise to this. So if you click on oscillator 1 twice, it'll bring you to the noise menu. And here I'm gonna add noise, but I'm also gonna make it really short by turning this fader down to like really short, so you could just barely hear like a click. It's not like a it's not like a punch sound. It's more of like a click. Yeah, and then also I'm going to have this on the high pass filter 2, which is a steeper filter. And I'm going to turn the frequency knob up. And I set to like 30. And turn the depth up. Yeah. The other thing I'm going to do is also turn these envelopes and amps to be envelope 10, which is like the equivalent of having like a really short decay, some sustain, and then some decay. Did I say short decay? I meant short attack. I don't remember what I said. The other thing is I'm going to use this LFO. I'm going to have it set to trigger, so that every single time I press a button, every time I trigger a sound, it triggers the LFO, turning off the presets. And I'm going to change this to oscillator 1 pitch modulation to 1. And I'm going to make this like 42. That's too much. That's too much. Okay. That kind of works. Also, I don't know why I'm pressing like multiple buttons. I only need one. Okay, the other thing is, not here, but in the other LFO. turn this stuff off. I'm gonna use some frequency modulation, some FM synthesis. Yeah, and I'll turn the depth up and speed up to like 1K. Also gonna make this really short too, and I'm also gonna set this to trigger. And I should do that with my other one too. Turn the fade all the way like that. Yeah, so that's that. I think I need more. Turn this to a sine wave. Cool. I'm gonna make the release a little bit different here. Just like that. Some delay. Lots of delay. But I gotta go to the delay page. I'm gonna turn this time down really short. Turn ping ponging on. Some feedback. The high pass filter I'm gonna turn up. Have some reverb. Have some overdrive. Cool. Yeah, so for this is the chorus one. That's all I'm gonna do in the effects for right now. I'm not even gonna add reverb or anything like that. I'm gonna turn the decay up a little bit. Same thing with the filter. Also, I turned off these factory like modulation points, modulation destinations. Like it's already nice, very cool. So I'm gonna turn the resonance of this frequency, this one up. I don't like that kind of distortion. Oopsies, I knocked my filter over. I'm gonna turn this down. Turn this up. Yeah. This is like going. This turns it so that it like dips down. Yeah. And then we'll make this. Yeah, like that. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's a good kick. I mean, it's very noisy. But that's kind of how I like to use the Analog Four. Just like having all these crazy sounds kind of weaving between each other. Might change. I like that a lot better. Gonna change this to be. I just need to figure out this sweet spot. That's pretty good. Okay, yeah. So let's just make a snare now. So we're back to our little like sound. Yeah, the snare, I don't really add it. I usually start with just noise. And I'll make that like very loud. Yeah, I really like the standard noise sound. Yeah, that's really it. I might make it a little more open. Yeah, so I really like that sound rather than like the other options that you have. Like for instance, like that's kind of cool actually. I do feel like I want like a sound under it. Maybe like really low. Yeah, like that. Like that, and then like a filter can come up and like nah. Not really my thing. This is more like something like this. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna modulate that. So let me turn off all of this stuff. This is usually what I do at the very beginning is I'll go through and I'll turn off each and every one of these guys because I want to just be like, I just want to start it completely from scratch. And maybe there's a way to do that. I could set it up and not have that going on, but I'm dumb, so I can't figure it out. So I'm going to go to filter F2 because that's the one that I have set to that peak filter. So I'm going to change the frequency. I want to modulate the frequency. I want it to be exponential and yeah, really fast. And we'll have it set to trigger because I don't want it constantly going. There you go. So that's going to be that guy. Yeah, and then I'll just I'm gonna put less delay on it. That's pretty good. So now we've got and so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll make a hi-hat sound. No, I don't need any of these oscillators, but I do need noise. And then yeah, same thing with this super low, but even shorter. You know, something like that. Cool. And then we'll add another peak filter. Some resonance. This overdrive, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the overdrive today. That's pretty good. Some delay, some reverb, chorus. Some chorus would be cool. You know. Oh, I gotta do some panning. Do this. I just set it up kind of like a drum set, like your hi-hat on the right hand side, and then the snare drum is like a little bit to the left of it, so that's how I have it panned, I guess. Yeah, it's just gonna be a real short release. You know how it goes. Turn off this modulation that I don't want. Yeah. And I think that what I'm gonna do for this one is have the LFO modulate the fade of the, why did I do that? Function, holding the function button and turning an encoder helps to reach like the extremes or like the middle, like the 0 point. So that's helpful. So I think I'm gonna have it like be random, and it's going to just modulate the fade of the noise. So let's see if that's even a point. Yeah, it is a point. I think there's noise level, noise fade. Yeah, so that's what I want, and I want it to be random. So as you do it, there's like that. Yeah, just like that. I might make it like sample and hold. Yeah, cool. And then yeah, let's make a synth sound. Well, this will be like our actual like synth like pad thing. So yeah, I mean, I could just make it I can make it a bass sound. This is the thing about like it. I always like put like track 2 and track 3 to be snare and then hi-hat, but I really could combine them into 2 and just use track 2 as both a snare and a hi-hat, and I might just do that. But what the way I'm gonna do it is by recording, copying some trigs. So before I do that, I'm just gonna go and make this track 4, and I'm just gonna make it a pad, like a pad sound. Yeah. So I gotta go click function and then click on this button that's kit, and then down here on kit there's polyconfig, and then I'm gonna allocate the voices. Yeah, and you can set it to reassign and unison and all these like different allocations for them. I'm just gonna leave it at reset. Yeah, you can use all of this stuff, so there's quite a few options, but basically what this allows us to do is just assign 4 voices, so we can get a 4 voice poly patch now. Okay, woo, that was difficult. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna do some tuning. Always take my oscillator to like super high up, like 24. Yeah, turn the level up about halfway. Tracking, I turned it off. It just sounds cool to me to do that. Also, I want this to be like a triangle wave, like that. I'll turn the pulse width modulation up, which is kind of cool. Oopsies, I didn't mean to do that. I do often like grab a random encoder and like not realize that I'm turning a different parameter. Nah, that's gonna be too thick. Okay, so just want it to be like that. I want it to be kind of thin, like the higher up note, because I want to add a lot of voices. I mean, I'm gonna have like 4 voices, but I want it to be a pretty dense like harmonic figure, so don't want to have too much going on there. And since it's such a high note, now's the perfect time to like do some detuning. It just like slight detuning in the higher registers is pretty inconsequential, because it's not the note that our brain is like focusing on. I think our brain focuses on the lower frequency. So yeah, so those can be like out of tune and it sounds cool to me. Okay, so yeah, now that I've got that going on, I don't want a sub for that one. I'm gonna figure out my filters later. I'm gonna turn the release up. Yeah, I like it. Same thing with our envelope filter, the envelope for our filter, and then envelope 2. I'm turning these off. Yeah. Gonna turn the other one off too, so that we don't have any more of that stuff going on. Cool. Not that it like, you know, the depth is set to 0, but I just don't like having it selected, because I don't want them to choose for me. I want to choose myself. So yeah, so I'll like go in and change it. This is like a 4th time I've said this, but it's like every single time I'm encountered with it, I'm like, okay, I gotta change everything about it. So if any of you know, like, if I can set up like a template on the Analog Four, so that like every single time I like start a new kit, it doesn't have all of this like stuff preset on it, let me know. Okay, and I think I'm gonna do some slight frequency modulation. I'm a sucker for FM synthesis right now, especially on the Analog Four. So I'm gonna go to oscillator 2, and I'm gonna choose frequency modulation wherever it is. There it is. Cool. So that's that. I'm gonna turn the depth up pretty high, and not like that though. Not like that either. More like 2K. That's a bit crazy sounding, but oopsies, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I want to turn the attack up a little bit, so that we have that kind of thing going on. It's like swell, just because I think that's cool sounding. Cool. Now let's go with our filters. I'm going to choose a peak filter. I'm going to move it about 66. Turn the resonance up. It's just, that shit works for me. And since this is a pad, I don't mind using overdrive on it. Because it's just the way that it squishes things. It's just it works. I like that. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna turn it even lower. Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna find a cool voicing for that later. But I'm gonna turn delay on too. That's pretty cool. In the left. Maybe not too left. Some chorus in there. Don't need that much sustain. Cool. Yeah. Trying to think of some other modulation that we can do, and I'm thinking we could do something with the filter, because that's pretty classic. Let's do some classic filter modulation. So we'll go to filter F2, frequency. So this is just, you know, changing our. Make it fast. Yeah, some really fast. Like that. What happens if we turn this fader? No, I'm losing the magic of it. Oh, I got an idea. What if I did this way? But like a lot. Make it trigger. I like that better, because it's like easing into it. Cool. So let's find a cool chord. How about that? So go. So maybe I should make this like decay and release longer. And then maybe I'll just get like a kind of that sound. I like that sound better. So let's just create let's start laying down some triggers. How about that? Yeah, I'm gonna use yeah, all 4 of these. I'm gonna go to the reverb and change the reverb to make the decay longer. LFO for the delay. Okay, and I'm gonna change the tempo. So tempo can be like, let's do 95. Okay, now I'm gonna add the Digitax compressor. I'm gonna figure this out a little bit better. It's gonna be off screen, so don't worry about it, but yeah, just know I'm turning it on now and I'm gonna be playing with it. So yeah, I think the compressor like really like makes this thing sound so good. Just like an example, I'm gonna play it dry and then mix the dry signal in. So here's, mix the compressed signal in. So here's dry, and then here's the compressed signal. I think it's way better. I find that to be a lot better sounding. Okay, so now I really want to get my kick to be really hitting. So how do I do that? Yeah, that already sounds better. That's it for me. That works really well. Okay, so now that that's kind of taken care of, there's one more thing that I wanted to do to this kick, and I think I'm actually going to turn the tracking back on. So I can do this. That way I can change these ones. So basically these all will be E, just like that. This one I'm gonna make A. These ones I'll make B flat. Make those D. And then we'll be back to E for this one. Yeah, and then this will be, and these ones will be just like that. Let's hear the tracking with oscillator. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's not it. I also need to go to my effects, and I want to change some effects parameters. So for instance, I want the reverb on all of the kicks to be crazy. So what I'm going to do is change it, the reverb, to be already super crazy, like that, so that when we get, it's like crazy, but very short. So then I'm gonna put a trig down right afterward, and then for this trigger, oopsies, I'm on the wrong track, effects track. This trigger, I'm gonna have it parameter locked so that the decay is super short, just like that. And then I'm just going to click function copy, and then I'm just going to paste that. Paste, just like that. But also, I want it to start really short, so I need to put a trig here as well, just like that. So now I've got. Maybe I should move it there. so that's my reverb taken care of. And then let's do maybe some delay modulation. Just the same thing, basically. I want to have the trigger for this to be super like long reverb for this part. So I'm just going to turn the reverb up, and that's what's cool about having the parameter locks and having them be what you would normally have, is that I can edit like the reverb. I could just turn this reverb up, and that makes sure that this one will be super loud or like super high up, and then the parameter locks are just going to return it back to normal. And since I have them on each side, it's pretty safe. So That's cool. I like that. So what I'm thinking about doing is oopsies, I didn't mean to do that. I gotta go back to my thing. Yeah. So what I'm thinking about doing is just leaving it here, and yeah, this isn't even getting into the whole like, you know, song mode and using song mode to link chains together and patterns together and creating like tempo changes and stuff like that. Like, this is just one day's worth of work. Like, this is an hour of sitting down sound designing, and then like tomorrow or like next week I'll look at this pattern again and then add some more patterns to kind of link to it, like copy it over to some patterns, change some tempos, change some other things about it, maybe consolidate my track 3 and 2 together so I could get another track available. But what I could also do instead of doing that is actually trigger my modular synth to give me some bass sounds. So if I click, if I go on my Digitac, then I can trigger it. It's set to, I think 5. Yeah. Yeah. And then I could go into effects and go to external in, and I think it's on the right channel. Yeah. And then I would pan this center because I'm gonna make it like a bass sound. Just like that. And give it some delay, some chorus. I changed some things about this, like the onset. And yeah, and then I could just go to the Digitac and just go down. Yeah, just like that. That works for me. And then I could trigger it with the digitact as well, so I could have something like and that's the beat. Thank you for watching. Sorry it sucked ass.